What up, champ? It's Reemus here, and welcome back to the Art of the Champion, where we speak how to think, act, move, fight, and just be a champion. The topic of today is having no limits. And we're going to use the example of the great and legendary heavyweight champion, George Foreman, as a great example of someone who had no limits at all. Because George Foreman was a two-time heavyweight champion, winning it in the early 70s, beating the great Joe Frazier and losing it to Muhammad Ali in 74, but then winning it again 20 years later in 1994 against Michael Moorer. So he's a perfect example of someone who had no limits. When you think about where George Foreman came from to where he ended up, it was a very good example of someone who had to reinvent who he was. Well, when he was younger, what he used to do, he was really big for his age, but all he used to do was hang out with bad company. He would rob people. He really didn't have any good prospects until he had that chance in boxing. But to be successful in boxing, he had to reinvent himself. He had to stop being that kid in the neighborhood, in the streets that would just rob people. He had to say to himself, there's no limit to what I could do. I have to stop what it is that I'm doing and believe that I can be more than where it is that I'm coming from. And it's the same mindset that he had to apply when he came for his comeback in the late 1980s, and really when he had no logical reason to believe that he could be heavyweight champion at the age of 45. He had to open his mind to the possibilities and just believe in no limits. He had to believe that there were no limits to what he could do. There's no limits to what he should be able to do. Well, it's a great example for us to believe that there are no limits, or at least there shouldn't be limits to what you can do based on what other people believe you can do, based on what's happened before. You have to open your mind up to the possibility that there could be a little bit more. You have to open your mind up to the possibility that the limits that have been set before were limits just because no one else crossed them. But it doesn't mean no one else can cross them. And you may think that you already have this mindset of, I don't have any problems. I know I have no limits. But the truth is, most of us do. And we kind of show that through our words and our action and the language that we use to describe things in all different areas. So this is what I want you to do for a month, for a couple weeks, for a couple months. Be egotistical about it. Be cocky about it. Say, I could do that. But don't just say it, actually try to do it. And it doesn't mean that you're going to get it first time, but keep doing it until you can do it, because you can do it. Just whatever it is, never defeat yourself before you've even tried. Just say, no limits. No limit. That's no limit for me. That's no limit for Reemus. That's no limit for me. Just say it. Just be cocky for a little bit until you get that mindset of, I can do it. I know I can do it. Because it's better to believe that you can do something and fail at it than to not believe you can't do something and not even try it at all. That's all for today. I hope you're gonna embody that mindset of no limits, and I hope this helped you in some way. If it did, support, comment, like, share it with someone who could take value out of what it is that I'm saying, and join the army of champions. So I will see you in the next video. I'm out.
I mean, a coward and a hero, they're the same. I mean, they feel the same. It's what they do that makes them different. In other words, the hero feels just as frightened as the coward.